Gonna take a sentimental journey. Gonna sit.
I suppose people probably know me most from Phantom of the Opera because it was kind of the first big thing that I did. And now I do something totally different than Phantom of the Opera, a show for Showtime called Shameless with William H. Macy. And that has kind of made me into a much more confident, zany, weird person because I get to exercise a different side of my personality in this show, which is raunchy and strange and pushes the envelope. Music has always been part of my life, a really big part of my life. Even when I wasn't actively making music, it was always kind of in the back of my mind. And I've always felt that I would finally find myself as a musician. I obviously started in the classical world and then went and made a film about country music and recorded with Dolly Parton for that. So there was kind of this evolution of me dipping into different genres and being exposed to different kinds of music. This record felt like I was finally finding my footing as a musician because I grew up in the classical world, but when I would come home, my mom would sing Apple Blossom Time to me. My mom was a single mom, so she worked all the time, so I was raised by a lot of babysitters, and they were grandma age, and so they would play Sam Cooke and Judy Garland and Frank Sinatra, and so I was raised around all that music.
All I do is dream of you the whole night through.
For me, and maybe because music so infused my childhood, I wanted to make me feel a sense of comfort and a sense of coziness. And so when I thought about what music would make me feel that way, I thought about the songs that I heard when I was a kid, and I thought about Apple Blossom Time, and I thought, there's a whole generation, my generation, that doesn't know this music, and how cool would it be to kind of put my own spin on it and reintroduce these great songs to everybody.
An airline ticket to romantic places.
The initial concept was to kind of do a musical calendar. So there are 12 months of the year, and there are usually 12-ish songs on a record. And so I thought, how fun would it be if you had 12 songs that kind of took you on a journey through a year emotionally. Each month has a certain quality to the light, a temperature, has a feeling, has memories for every person, and a lot of those are very similar for people. I mean, summer is usually a time of vacation and freedom and fun, and September is usually a time of back to school or back to work, and then the colder months come in and it's a bluer light, and what would that sound like?
Once I lived the life of a millionaire, spending my money, I didn't care.
I started going through old songs and kind of picking things that felt like a certain time of the year and started assigning things. And I mean, it was all very kind of instinctual and experimental, and I certainly didn't expect it to turn into a big project, but it started to kind of take over my brain and my heart, and I got more and more excited about it as I started finding songs and singing them around the house.
I'm looking over a four-leaf clover I overlooked before.
I wanted it to have a sense of old-fashioned authenticity in terms of the actual production of the record, which is why I got a bunch of musicians together that I knew and put them in one room and said, okay, we're gonna do this in 3 days. Let's figure out each song and just play it a couple times through. You'll all play together, we'll mic everybody, but we'll all be in the same room and I'll be in the vocal booth, and that's just how we'll do it. We'll do it like an old record, we'll master it to tape, and that's how we're gonna do it. It was crazy fun. There were, of course, months of me going through songs and Pandora-ing and Spotify-ing and iTunes-ing and YouTubing, finding clips from movies of people singing and going, oh, what if we redid that? What would that sound like? And so many different places you can find songs. I mean, I remember I was sitting on an airplane writing down old song titles, and somebody sitting next to me was like, "Oh, do you like old music? You should listen to Many, Many Tears Ago." And that's how I found that song. So there were so many weird serendipitous things that happened that it just became totally obvious that this record needed to be made.
So many